You have one guess. Whose idea was that? Who do you guys think?
It's Grant's idea. It wasn't my idea. Grant's the weeb on this panel. All right, let's get into this series. It's going to be a great one. We got plenty to talk about. Vici versus EG. Fact, Vici's been looking like the better team so far in this tournament.
Yep.
We've seen it a few times. How do you think EG comes out on top?
Yeah, me too. 1 second.
I'm out of breath.
Yeah,
we're not in good shape. I don't think we're in very good shape. You just jumped right into it, Rich. All right, how does EG... I think if they can finally try to put like Abed, and we've seen Abed be able to like just be a star, I think when they can have Abed in good matchups in particular, it's going to be really good. I think if they can put Ori on these more uncomfortable heroes as well. I want to say uncomfortable, even though Ori's really comfortable on everything, but we did see him have a bit of struggle yesterday. They really addressed Ori, which I think is super important if EG does the same.
So it's kind of one of those things where, depending on which side you're on, you want to address either Abed or Ori. Do you think that that's a tall task to actually accomplish, Cinderin?
I would say yes. I think both players have a decent enough hero pool that you can't just like target ban them out. But there are definitely some things that you can increase your chances with. Yesterday we saw Abed play TA twice. That's maybe something Vici come in thinking about today. It's a hero Ori also plays, so that could be one of the...
Is there any chance we're going to see... Where's the Abed cheese heroes been, right? We've seen one Meepo. You think possible last picks here? Do you like want last pick for EG maybe because of that?
That could be true, right? He hasn't gotten to play it at all in a while.
He played one in the group stage, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when we look big picture, our top 3 teams that we have here, I feel like they've been a clear 1, 2, and 3. There were obviously questions about Secret and Vici, and if they were 100% even. I think even when we had Arteezy here on the panel, he was talking about how much he really did respect Vici before this matchup was even known to be a thing. Do we feel like coming into today, we expect Secret to take that #1 spot. We expect Vici in that 2nd spot. We expect EG in that 3rd spot. Like, would this be an upset if EG came out on top?
I think so. I think Secret and Vici have looked almost a tier above everyone else here. Obviously, EG, I mean, we talk about it, they outclass people, but when they lose their lanes, they lose the game. So I think Secret, Vici are definitely the top 2. EG, we'll see, right? You have to make adjustments. They've already played.
And definitely have a lot of fans here in Germany right now cheering them on. But it does seem like it's going to be a very tall task. The 3rd place meme is obviously something that we all know very well.
And it's not even a meme, right? Like, it's true. It's a meme, but it is very, very true.
Most memes are based in reality. But I will say that
best ones.
When you look at this team, they have... I don't think that there was any doubt that we kind of felt like they were going to make it to today, at least the top 4 throughout the entirety of the tournament. But it's just been a brick wall on the side of Vici and Secret. So we're going to be jumping into this one very quickly, and very excited to see which way it does go. Are there any players that we want to talk about besides Abed on the side of EG? I feel like we've been putting a lot on him, not only, even in the series against Alliance, I feel like that was one of our biggest talking points. Sin, is there anyone else who's on the top of your mind?
I kind of want to talk about Fly and Bulba, because I think going into this series, the way EG wins is with strategy. I don't think they're enough better on individual players, if at all, to beat it on raw skill. So you need to come in with a really good strategy. And it's one of the things we've criticized EG for the most, is being predictable, sticking too much to a script over and over again. And I think yesterday they changed it up a little bit. It was nice to see. They changed some things against Alliance.
Timber on Ramses and stuff like that.
Timber on Ramses, they grabbed the TA a bit more, changed things up. So if they come in with confidence from yesterday and a bit of a plan, they also saw Vici bleed. That helps.
Yes.
You know, you see they lose
big.
to something. Maybe they took something away from those games. I'm sure Bulba has been digging through those replays to try to find those little bits and pieces that they can take advantage of.
He was pacing in the hall. He was pacing in the hotel last night. It was like,
and he doesn't.
From like
Bulba doesn't
8:30 until 10 p.m. We were in the lobby, and Bulba was just pacing back and forth. And I'm like, Sam, you good? And he's like, just thinking.
I will say, I was going to bring up the same exact thing, because we were all sitting there, and you know, Bulba's walking around like a maniac. But this morning, I've never seen Sam look more confident, honestly, ever. I feel like actually seeing exactly what Cinderin said, seeing Vici finally look mortal was a big deal, because it was Vici that Arteezy was talking about, right? And,
not Secret, Vici.
And it was a very in-depth conversation that we had with him, but one of the other things that you mentioned is strategy. You talk about Fly. Let's see if we can glean what maybe some of that strategy will be coming into this matchup.
All right, so we're playing Vici again. We played him in Singapore not too long ago, and we lost to them. So I definitely look forward to playing them. They're a great team, lots of respect for them. I wouldn't say this is exactly revenge. It's more just looking forward to a great match against a great team, and it's going to be good, you know. I think everybody feels pretty good on our team right now. We all have, we all are very supportive of each other, and we're trying to keep it very positive. No matter what, lose a game, we're going to bounce back, so we're going to be good.
Now, one of the other things when we actually did have that opportunity to chat to EG, I think they were one of the people who were really pointing out between Secret and Vici, defined styles, right? And when they talked about Vici, it just was how they were able to enable each other as a team. What do you think the style of EG really is, though, here, Fog, when we're headed into this matchup?
Well, I think from what we've seen, they have a couple different styles, but from what I've seen that works best is when they put Abed to be the most successful when they actually don't have Artesian a super hard carry. Yep. I feel like when I see them, that's their second strategy, is like Artesian this super hard carry to win the game. They did pick a Void yesterday, but it was different because of the way they built their lineup around it. So I think it's really important the way that they set up Abed to have this hero that can just, it's a win condition, right?
I also think, like, traditionally maybe people think of Void as a hard carry, but I think he offers something different than, say, an Anti-Mage, right? Where you're like, okay, this guy's going to farm for 20, 25 minutes before he joins. With Faceless Void, even if your game isn't great, you're kind of a supportive carry in the sense that you can set other people up for success with good spellcasting. Both Time Dilation and Chrono can win fights, and if you have Abed on a hero that can take advantage of it, Void can kind of be a semi-carry almost in the game. So
yeah, that's kind of what they did. And just like Ramses has been winning these 3v1 lanes, these 2v1 lanes that he shouldn't have. Like his Enchantress, there's no way it goes through, right?
Yeah, I don't think you give him Enchantress.
It got through yesterday, right?
Yeah, it got through in the first game, or second game.
I mean, so before that, we saw Enchantress just first phase banned by every single team that went up against EG, and then pretty much that was par for the course throughout this tournament. Yeah. Grant, you were one of the people that kept going back to the idea that EG really brought Enchantress here, right?
Yeah.
And kind of spread it into the meta.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an NASA pub mentality thing where just win your lane. You're pretty much, when you're playing an NA pub, you're playing by yourself. You mute everyone, you don't talk to anyone, you usually flame people afterwards.
What a lovely region.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about Enchantress. You can kind of just dominate your lane, and then you do a lot of damage in team fights. We saw when he was like soloing Limp on that DP with like 5 impetuses.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't mute though, because if you do, you can't hear the spam pings. So it's a big deficit to the gameplay.
Rich, have you been flamed a lot? You've been playing 5 stacks, right?
I still get flamed. I've been playing with Kyle. So
we didn't flame you at all.
You actually were the only one who flamed me like a tiny bit. You didn't flame me.
Did I? I was
me.
actually. Oh yeah, I trolled you, but I didn't flame you.
Yeah, you didn't flame me. Yeah, nobody really flamed me too much. But the thing I'm thinking about is not the 5 stack right now. I'm thinking about TA. Don't laugh. I'm thinking about very specific things with TA, mostly what we saw yesterday with TA. Do you think that TA is one of these heroes that you look at that you also want to take away from EG Sin?
I don't know if you first phase ban it. Maybe you do if you're overall second pick in the draft as Vici, because it could be a good like phase closer for EG, getting it on the 10th pick overall. Or sorry, not 10th pick, but on the 10 pick, the 4th pick overall. Outside of that, I don't think it's a first phase ban. I think there's more important things to address, such as the Enchantress. There's been some supports for EG that have been really impactful. They love their Treant, for example. Yep. We've seen Doom obviously do great the whole tournament. There's other heroes that you kind of have to address.
I think the biggest here, right, is this IO, because it's crazy to say, but I think Vici Gaming might be the best IO gyro team in the world right now. And we know EG, obviously, Crit will first pick it every time they get it. So do you think you're not first pick, you just ban it?
I feel like that kind of is my read on IO right now as a hero. Yeah. It's just, it seems extremely powerful. Secret did beat it yesterday.
They did.
They did beat Vici's IO gyro.
Crazy.
It was a bit of a weird game. I was casting that one, and I feel like Vici were a bit cautious. They were showing Secret a lot of respect, which is understandable, but you also, you gotta
play your game.
You gotta play your game, right? Exactly. You gotta do stuff on the map. And that's my concern going into this game for Vici, actually, is with the passiveness they showed yesterday, they might be able to allow EG, who sometimes have a slower build-up, to actually get to play a slightly weaker early game into that mid game that they love so much. So I'd like to see Vici go out a bit more aggressive today.
I think they will. I think they will also, because we know that that's the style they like to play. And that's, versus Secret, like you said, they give respect. And I think Secret can sometimes get into some of these teams' heads, because it is Secret. While EG, we know their style. We've seen them so many times. They're greedy. I think Vici's really just going to run at them, honestly. Like, they're just going to pick a lot of really aggressive heroes. We're going to see Yang push his limits.
So you think Vici, they might win off of aggression. I want to go back to Arteezy really quick, too. You still want to see him on something active then, too, Fog.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like any of these.
Yeah.
I just don't like any of these heroes that can't fight. I think Void can at least fight if he's like a
Once every 3 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, but time dilation's still really strong though inside the mid game and stuff like that. But you can't pick him a hard carry. You can't pick him something that's going to just sit back and farm. I'm wondering how Drow Ranger's even going to be valued in this matchup too, because we did see Vici. They bled with that hero a lot of times at this tournament. I think they lost
EG.
1 or 2 at group stages. Yeah. So that hero is also a little bit of a question mark for me how it's going to be played, because that one, it can fight, but it gets punished in lanes.
I could see it being like Venge Drow first phased in this, like the very first game, right? Because you talked about in this game 1, you kind of just come in with your own strategy and maybe work from there. Because Vici doesn't have to change anything, right? They annihilated EG. I think EG has to show that they've changed.
I really do want to jump in. I just heard that we actually do have a video from the side of Vici. Sorry to cut you off there, but let's take a listen to what Vici has to say about this matchup.
I think it's 50-50 now, because you know what? EU Genius is a strong team, and they can, in this tournament, they can stronger than before. When they play every game, they stronger than before. So I think today EU Genius is strong.
I think that's a really important thing to actually hear coming out of him, because earlier in the tournament, Vici was saying that they didn't feel like they were at full strength.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we can say that about Vici as well. I feel like the top 3 teams in this tournament that have made it today, the final day of this major, have all had that characteristic. I feel like Secret's a scarier team, Vici's a scarier team, and EG is also a scarier team.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You play more and more games, you understand, you get to watch like these alliances and Liquid play, and even though maybe you don't think they're as good as you can learn like a lot of strategies from them. So the later you go, the more you learn.
All right, well, with all of that now, we are getting very close to this matchup. We're going to be jumping to a quick break, and when we return, we are going to get this series started and figure out who's going to make it to the grand final.
toss your worries aside. With the clouds rolling gently and sunshine aplenty on a trail that leads straight into the sky. Hear the gentle winds whisper through the valley to the river. We'll be riding all day, blowing cares away, till the stars come out at night. Hang your hat where your heart desires. On the range you're free to roam. Rest your head when you're feeling tired, for the trail is now your home. Riding is the way of life where you kiss.
We had a full set of group play in Stockholm, and then we get to Germany, and we've already had 5 days of Dota, but only 3 teams remain. And now, joining us on the stage, the 2 squads that are going to fight for a place in the grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Vici and EG. Both of these teams have had a difficult run to get here. Vici has looked fantastic, showing dominance until they went up against Secret. They are looking for that rematch. Now EG is looking to take down a team that has already given them troubles to get into the graces of that grand final. We already started to talk about some of the things that we expected to see, some of the things that we wanted to see if either of these squads is going to come out on top. But the question is, what's going to happen when we get into the draft? We're getting very close now. I think we talked a lot about EG and some of the players that we wanted to look at. Let's talk more about Vici. I feel like right now, Ori was one of the main people that we put in the spotlight, but I want to talk a little bit about PYW. I feel like he's had such a fantastic tournament. Fog, how do you feel about his performance thus far?
This guy's a beast, honestly. The moment he joined the team, he used to be mid, right, on Serenity. I think that's where he came from originally.
Yeah, he was on Serenity.
Yeah.
He also played 4 in Serenity a bit, right?
Yeah,
I think so too. He swapped around a bunch.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's super impressive to watch. I think he's very flashy play style. He fits the role that they needed, like that they lost, especially from Fade, moving away from the team. He just seems to know what he's doing super well, and he's very greedy, which I mean, it's always a good sign.
Yeah, and I mean, last year, honestly, DY was the most improved player of the year. Who knows? They might just have another one in PYW. Yeah. He just looks better and better. This Rubik hero, that's the one hero. It's kind of fallen off. I wouldn't doubt to see it in the first phase with this team.
Yeah, I feel like that was something that you said all the way back at the beginning of the tournament. You were like, yeah, DY was one of the most improved players. Yeah, looked fantastic. Now PYW was kind of that player for you.
Yeah, he was. I would say PYW never looked quite as bad as DY. I'm not blaming DY because now I would consider him probably a top 2-5 in the world, but PYW, I just saw him game in and game out, and I'm like, he's winning games on his Rubik's. He's winning games. He played a Pango game as 4, and I'm like, I've never seen that out of him, and he's doing great. I don't know, man. I think you might have to ban some of his heroes for sure. Like we saw Earthshaker respect bans yesterday. You might Rubik.
Do you feel the same way? Do you think that the Rubik might actually get banned here, Cinderin?
I don't think it'll happen in the first game. I think maybe if it turns out to be a big enough problem for EG in game 1, they could consider it in the second game, but I still think there's just higher priority heroes to get rid of. We have the first ban on the screen right now, actually. EG choosing to ban Tree in his first pick. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
Was not expecting to see that.
Especially as the overall first one, because you'd be like, well, it counters something, but you could leave it till like your last ban, right?
Yeah, there's something good and something bad to be said about that, because if you... It's a pretty big mind game when it comes to these bans in this way, because if you save it till last, then if the enemy team suddenly puts a trap, now you have the problem of, they just set up really well for this other hero that we kind of have to ban now, and man, I wish we banned Tree in earlier, right? So sometimes there's also, we've seen teams, it hasn't been done that much this tournament. I do want to say Vici actually did it yesterday against Secret. They first phase banned Brood. In the game. A hero that Secret hasn't been playing that much lately. But sometimes you first phase ban a hero so you don't have to worry about it later. Then you have that extra ban for something else. But so far in this ban phase, that has not been the case. This is just flat out first phase bans that both teams are just prioritizing over everything else.
And with this Omni ban, because Omni hasn't looked good the last like 2-3 days, but yeah, I agree, it makes sense, because how EG loses is they kind of just get run over by this death ball of Vici, which they did in the first 2 games, and that's probably the best hero at it.
Yang's scary on this hero as well. And yeah, like you said, it can change your concept of what you want to play, right? Like you pick a lineup that wants to be able to disable people or something like that, and Heavenly Grace messes up everything, or GA is super powerful. And he's a strong laner. I think that's one of the biggest things too. You put him in a matchup, and Yang, if he's able to, he can actually just bully your carry if you are up against it.
So now it's IO time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I was about to say, like, if EG doesn't ban, that means they have to pick it, because you're definitely not giving him IO Gyro.
And there's the Doom.
This hero is the one hero from the beginning of the tournament that everyone thought was super strong and has made it all the way to the end that's still super strong.
Yeah, what else really has kind of been able to stand the test of the entire tournament?
Pretty much just
Disruptor.
IO. Was Disruptor even popular like the day one though, like of group stage?
It was
Picked
up
a
there.
little bit, but I think that was the first thing. And then that Disruptor Naga game happened. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, that hero's broken." Aghanims,
and then
broken.
a mid disruptor comes out there, and it's like, all right, if this is working, it's first phase ban.
So Vici are going to grab Lich. Don't want to give away Lich Doom. Very powerful combination.
I like Lich a lot too because I feel like we talked a lot about TA, and I think this is one hero that actually messes with TA's overall entire game. Because if you do want to make any aggressive plays, this hero just counteracts it entirely. This Frost Shield is so good versus TA's high burst damage, and now they pick a hero that's similar to Omni Knight, but it's a way to. We've seen a lot of teams pick it in order to kind of counter the Doom. If someone else gets doomed, you're able to heal them up and.
And you can do stuff alone as ABBA, which is kind of why I like it more than Omni. Like, you can just go push a tower by yourself. If you're an Omni, you're not really pushing a tower by yourself ever.
Yeah, and you're at lower risk too. It generally takes more heroes to kill Abaddon than Omni because of how long it takes usually. Like, you need to run him down for the extra duration of the ult.
I do want to highlight though how kind of interesting this is because when we were at the minor, like it was Abaddon, Omni, and like even like LC and stuff like that, like leaking in. And then when we got to the major, all of a sudden, we started seeing it a lot less. But here, you expect it just based off the playstyle of Vici. You like that Omni, that early Omni ban, and now you like the Abaddon. So maybe this will enable their playstyle. There's the OD.
Yeah, I think OD does way better in this matchup than TA would. If they want to pick Abed's hero now, TA struggles, like Fog said, against Frost Shield, but I also think attack speed slows are really effective against TA. And there's both the Abaddon and Lich with some really annoying slows that you need to play around in fights. Abaddon, you can't really, he's not one of the heroes you can just jump and burst as TA either. So, OD, however, Abaddon is one of those nice heroes you can just build up on. You banish people, you buy time, get longer fights. And suddenly
save on a core,
the hammer can even kill Abaddon. That's one of the abilities in the game that deals so much burst damage that you can overpower the ulti activation.
You are showing Abed's hero early, though. They can still rotate it to Arteezy, but I don't think that's very likely that they will.
I think what you should do as EG now, you should probably consider banning Puck. Ori has looked great on that hero this tournament. In a way, maybe a bit surprising it didn't get picked in this first phase over the Abaddon, perhaps, but I think Puck is a pretty good hero against Doom. Keep him in place. You're hard to catch with the Doom spell. You have a good matchup against OD in the lane.
I love Silence versus OD.
Silence is good against OD. I think it's pretty solid overall, but there might be other priorities here. Drow being banned out first for EG, so it will be Vici with the next pick.
Woo!
So when you do first phase, like this OD, after you've already picked a Doom, does it like shift anything for the Doom, or is he still wide open for like a 4 or 3? I don't know, because I guess we've seen teams pick their 1 and 2 cores even in the first phase. So
I don't really think, in Dota right now, I don't really think it matters what role Doom plays. What matters is he finds an Ice Ogre. If he finds an Ice Ogre, he can be 5 with no items. Yeah. He has huge impact, so, you know.
It really, I mean, it's true. We may be memeing, but it's true. You find an Ice Ogre, have fun the next 10 minutes on the other team.
Like Rich said before, the memes generally have, some sort of root in reality. I'm not joking. It's pretty stupidly strong.
I've been studying them quite
Probably
closely.
on the short list for something that a lot of pro players want nerfed next patch.
There's no way.
It's got to be one of the highest priorities.
Just make it a level 5. Then make that Ice Ogre level 5 now for some reason, so he can't eat it at level 1. Just some type of change, or just change it overall.
There are tons of ways you could rebalance it. Like one way would be duration. The problem with it is it lasts 45 seconds, costs 40 mana.
40 mana is insane.
And it has like 8-second cooldown, I think, so you can have it on like multiple heroes, and it's a crazy spell overall.
Timberban. Probably smart after what ran. I think they pretty much told him, go stand in the middle. He was unkillable, right? We saw in the Vici Secret game, even though Vici lost his Secret, they could not kill that freaking Timbersaw. This hero, once you get items, you get a craggy coat, a couple neutral items, you're legitimately unkillable.
Yeah.
One of the heroes that teams like picking against Timber is the Slark. Yeah. But I don't think you want to play Slark into Doom OD. So you don't really have that counter pick option for Vici. So better safe than sorry, just get rid of it. Not many other carries right now really like this Timber matchup than a farmed Slark. Traditionally, you've seen something like Ursa. I think he's terrible against OD.
Yep.
Terrible hero in general.
Yeah, not great. But it's also not that awful. I think he could have seen a little more play.
Is this like your Lycan thing again?
No, I actually like Ursa.
You do?
I don't think Ursa's that bad either.
No,
I also agree.
I'm looking at a potential Monkey King, perhaps. I don't know if Vici have really played it much. I think Monkey King is one of the heroes that Secret had a lot of success with, also playing into Doom. He's good against Doom in lane, whether it's a 3 or a 4. You're just really strong. You have the surprise factor of fighting from the trees, and Doom doesn't like... Doom wants to run in and take a fight in a specific area where he feels strong. He can't fight into the ring.
Yep.
It actually overpowers you and forces you out, even during Scorched Earth. So that could be a bit problematic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever you go against Doom, you think of who's a core that doesn't mind getting doomed. So what else is there? Well, what's good versus OD then, do you think?
Well, you guys mentioned a lot about the Rubik. I think Rubik's looking pretty hot for Vici.
Yeah, he's good. Rubik's definitely good. Still think the puck could be fine. Yeah, Monkey King I'm a little bit less certain about just because of the players, not specifically the strategy. I think Paparazzi doesn't really play this hero, I want to say. Not much. He hasn't had success with it nearly as much as with other heroes.
No,
Ori does, but you don't want to play Monkey into OD. I don't think... That matchup used to be different, but I don't know in the lane how exactly that would go down with the Astral now.
I feel like Razor looks good for Vici. It's a hero that doesn't mind getting doomed, and Paparazzi was like, or Eurus was one of the first guys who just like played the position 1 Razor, and you're like, wait, this hero can go into the late game. We don't have like this timing window.
It's definitely a possibility.
Burning a lot of time.
You know, in the past, there's a yellow ban actually.
Okay, so
they're
that
going
would
to
be
steal away the
the
time.
UIW?
That's one hero we didn't really talk about that EG has been loving, but they phased it out a little bit yesterday against Alliance, gave it way less priority. Earlier on in the tournament, they were like overall first pick.
That's one of those heroes, yeah, that was like super big at first phase, and now not so much.
I think I like that a bit more than the Rubik too, because I think you can be a lot more aggressive. I think if you pick this Rubik for Vici, you can't be as like dominant inside the laning phase. Now I think if they do set up for that puck, like we're mentioning, then they can really pressure Abed, and I think that's what we mentioned a lot of times. The way you handle EG, from what we've seen, is don't let Abed have these free games. So I really do like this tiny pickup because they can just address that Abed issue.
It has me a bit concerned if they go puck now though, because then they have like nothing against BKB. Their last hero has to do a lot of work.
All the damage, all the piercing.
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
AA against...
Instant Arc Warden, oof.
Ooh, okay, so that's the one they were setting up for.
AA against almost
Why?
no heals. There's
AA.
an Abaddon.
I guess to prevent people, if they get doomed, they're doomed. You can't actually turn to heal them up with the Abaddon to counteract it at all.
Aphotic Shield is still a decent mitigation.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, man. Naga, all right. Naga versus Arc Warden. We might be seeing some tier 6 items here. No, why that Arc Warden? That was like an instant pick Arc Warden too. I mean, obviously versus Doom ODA, none of these heroes can really get on top of him unless it's Doom. We've seen what that phase drum or the phase drum blink build. I don't know.
It was like one of those things too where you actually look over into Vici's booth. They looked like they were like having a holiday. They looked really happy the second that they saw them come in. I mean, you guys had a few seconds to think about it. Now that we actually have seen the AA for a little bit, what do you think they're even trying to set up for here, Sin?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
And that's got me a bit concerned.
Team fight, I guess. I don't know. You got Naga sleeping in OD. I don't know. Are you just trying to wombo combo him? That's such a weird thing to draft for, though.
I feel like this just limited their catch completely.
Agreed.
Now they're like, they have no real great catch on the side of EG. I mean, it's okay, but it's not your... There's like no disables really coming from their lineup versus an Arc Warden who has a backup of 2 defensive heroes, a Lich and a Abaddon to protect him.
How do you feel about the Naga Siren, though?
It's an Arteezy specialty.
And it does play quicker than the Arc Warden. Like, you get your Diffusal Manta, you can, I mean, if you have a great laning phase, you could just run over the game with it, and that's how EG plays, right? These timing-based pushes and hope they win the lanes.
The thing that Arc Warden doesn't like is when heroes come up close and fight him in the magnetic field. And Naga, with all the illusions, can just run in, overwhelm you. Flux doesn't work because you have illusions next to you all the time. Spark Wraith, you can tank with random illusions and not really take damage on your main hero. The matchup against Lich kind of goes both ways, because if you have a bad timing with the Chain Frost, it can be a problem, but at the same time, if you have 4 illusions, maybe the Chain Frost kind of gets mitigated in the entire fight. So I honestly think the Naga Siren pick is pretty good. It's the AA that has me puzzled here.
Same. I just don't see
why.
Like, I feel like it just limits them when they don't have like a Naga song, like a song combo or anything like that.
There's no synergy with Song right now. Not really. I mean, Ice Blast, you can consider a combo. I don't know. It's a bit iffy. Should mention, though, by the way, about Arc Warden. This was something that Vici learned the hard way yesterday. Arc Warden is really good against Doom. The Doom that Vici were playing, he was running in, he was dooming Nisha, and Nisha was like, whatever, dude, I got my ulti off.
I got my ulti. Yeah, I'm here.
Fight. I have 2 heroes. You have it, You got 2 Dooms, bro? And then, no, I don't. So, you know, he just takes the fight regardless. And with the Abaddon protection, I don't think it's hard to kill Arc Warden. I like EG's thinking here with the Clockwork, because they need some way of getting on top of him in addition to Naga, I think, so that you can really force him out of the fight. However, it makes Hurricane Pike a really good item this game.
Real good, yeah.
It looks amazing. It's good against Doom, Clock, Naga.
Oh, and he, RO2K popped off when he picked that. He popped off. He's ready.
I was going to mention the limited disable on EG. What if they pick an elusive carry at the end there? And the Ember Spirit works really well versus that Naga Siren. It combos well. It's aggressive is what we were asking for from Vici as well. I'm liking what Vici's got right now. This AA pick has me very, very puzzled.
EG has to show they can win, and I think Vici's draft is a little bit better, so, yeah.
ROTK almost looked like he smiled for a second, which is terrifying. That is not something you want to see. We talked about the draft quite a bit, but I'm excited to just get into this game. We got this best of 3. Whoever wins this goes to the grand final. It's coming up very soon.
Germany, and welcome to your final day of the DreamLeague Season 13 Major. We've got ourselves Evil Geniuses versus Vici Gaming. What a way to start the day. This is going to be a fun series, Lizard, for sure.
It looks like a fun draft from both of these teams. We have an Arc Warden on one side, Naga on the other. Maybe not considered the most fun heroes to watch, but definitely the game can go 70+ minutes if they play their cards right.
Yeah, we may be seeing some tier 5 items. Of course, both of these teams are going to try and switch things up a little bit, not just in the draft, but I think, Lizard, you were saying maybe in the lanes as well.
Yeah, exactly, because there are different matchups here. You have Arc Warden and Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit later on is really good versus Naga. However, in the laning stage, you want to put that Naga versus Arc Warden somehow. As the Flux doesn't do anything, you have illusions to deal with the Spark rates, and that's why maybe we will see some switch-ups. You can see them. They're dancing around this mid lane. Both OD and Naga are there.
Meanwhile, OD abuses melee heroes, especially, right? So if you do get the matchup against the Ember, you could see they're just moving back and forth around the map. It looks like Abed wants to go mid, But we'll have to see if the Ember Spirit ends up there, then Arteezy's perfectly fine in being able to take that matchup as well. They've actually both got shared tangos, just in case they do. Hell, you can even see the aggressive mid vision on both sides. Nobody's really showing a whole lot of information just
waiting.
yet.
They're just waiting. Both of them want to go mid, but it looks like the OD, he has already bought a lot of region.
Both of these carries are hanging around the mid lane. Both of them are waiting
2-on-2
for the other to show. This is certainly already starting out to be a fun mind game between two very experienced teams.
But look at this, Ember shows up, instantly Naga goes back and OD is coming in. But Dark Warden is around too, and Ori, he didn't go away, he's coming back.
Yours is gonna leave now. Ori's gonna show up. He wants the matchup against the OD. After all, he's a ranged hero against the OD. Plus, you've got the magnetic field.
What a way to start.
Now, are we just gonna go back and forth, Lizard?
Well, it looks like Abed is coming back, but mostly because PYW was chasing him through the jungle, and now he has to move back.
We'll see what these supports can do to interfere in this this musical chairs that we're experiencing right now. Yours coming back in once again.
Just stay 2-on-2. Just play it out like that. Back out. Look, they're actually
somebody let the four positions turn into a carry, man.
All right, this is insane.
All right, we're just gonna hang it out. Both teams are waiting for the other to blink. You move. No. You're gonna move first.
All right, this is a first. This is the first. I haven't seen this in a while, but it looks like Ori is the one to budge. It looks like he's the first one to leave, but Naga instantly Abbott, he's following him.
All right, they're finally committing, it looks like, and Arteezy is going to get the matchup that he wants out of this. He's going to be mid against a melee hero. He can abuse him with the imprisonment. We're going to have the Naga Siren head up top against the Arc Warden. It does mean our side lanes, our supports got a little jump on the game.
They're the happiest ones right now. As a support or an offlaner in a game such as this one, in which you don't have those supports to zone you out, you're just taking all the experience and gold and you feel great.
I feel like this is a win for EG in two different ways. They got the matchups that they wanted, and I think Clockwork has probably got to be the most influential hero with levels in this game, right? You get him to an early level 3, and he's a killer.
He definitely did benefit a lot. One bad thing for them that happened is that Ember got a lot of last hits. He's 8-3 on that mid lane versus an OD that has 3 last hits altogether. So
yeah,
that's a small upside for VG.
We'll see whether or not Arteezy can bring it back with the imprisonment spamming. As he's got a healthy wave underneath the tower as well. There's also the advantage. Looks like our Doom did very well in CS. That matchup can be a little awkward in a Batten versus a melee hero, but it looks like he walked away the better of it.
Especially when you get level 2, and you get that level 2 score third, it's much better top lane, DY.
DY getting caught. If they can get this kill, it would be pretty good for EG. The first blood is still uncontested, but Eurus is here, and he's going to try and finish up Abed. The mirror image going out. Abed wants to be able to try and finish up DY before he dies, but he can't get it. And Vici Gaming are the ones to claim first blood.
And you can see Arc Warden instantly. Is he going to move? He actually TPs towards the mid lane. Now the problem is, because he did that, Naga will TP on the mid lane too, and OD will go top.
Beautiful body blocking here. Ramsey's left alone in this bottom lane. Was expecting just a 1v1, but PYW being here might be able to get the kill. The Devour, the 2 levels of Devour is just giving him too much regen. The Euphonic Shield will allow them to be able to dive the tower here. PYW, the Miscoil as well. If he can get out of vision, he'll dodge the Euphonic Shield pop.
And
They'll get off the healing salve. He gets that off, turns around, hits PYW once. He'll live, but his lane is kind of screwed now because he lost his regen.
Ember, because he rotates stop, and OD goes stop as well. You have the perfect setup for the cogs, for the clock battery assault with that astral imprisonment. So they do take down the Ember Spirit, but they're still dancing around these lanes. Ember now goes mid, Naga rotates stop, Arc Warden rotates stop. Is this ever gonna stop, Cap?
It seems like it never will. Arteezy shows up. Says hello to Eurus. We'll take the nice creep wave that's pushing in. 2 range creeps for him as well, so bounty of experience awaits him. Back over to Abed, who's been sometimes I feel like a lot of times he's just one creating space in the game, but as a Naga Siren, it's certainly a different kind of game for Abed than the majority we've seen this turn.
I think we see 2 heroes on 2 sides that are going to be creating space. That's going to be OD for EG, definitely, and on the other side it has to be the Ember. It's going to be Eurus So Naga and the Arc Warden, they're your fallback policy. You wait for them, you wait for that farm later on.
It's funny how even though he's a Naga Siren and you want him to get golden levels, he's still the one who's getting the short end of the stick compared to Arteezy, level 3 to level 5 OD.
That doesn't have to be necessarily right. You have to think about timings, and that's what they're thinking about right now. You want to have your playmaker, the one that's going to do the most around the 10 to 15 minute mark. You want to have him have the best start.
That faster Aghanims will add in a lot of team fight.
Exactly, and on the other side you want Eurus, you want that Ember Spirit to get fast level 7 so that he can be the one creating space, rotating across the map and playmaking.
Yeah, certainly before level 6, he's not able to do a whole lot against that OD, so they switch it up once again.
Yeah, we see Ember mid, Dark Warden instantly going back top. But Crit is having a blast. He's level 4 after this kill. This should be easy. There are sticks on the UI, but...
Arteezy makes sure to take the last hit with the imprisonment.
That's also level 4 right there for Crit. He's having such a good time. By the way, he started with such great items. He has Tranquils already, and he bought that mid lace. So even if you're not imprisoned, he will be able to catch you on mid lane. Now they use that combo.
Oh, the Ember Spirit still doesn't have his level 6. Crit is here, but underneath the creep wave, they actually push him and get him a little bit closer to Arteezy. With the Avalanche, they should be enough to finish up our tour. Can Eurus get out? A Fairy Fire is going to be enough. Crit has to back away.
Man, PYW, this guy, when you give him heroes such as Tiny, such as Elder Titan and Doom, he's always in the right position at the right time to help you out. He doesn't need that mobility, and he shines on these beefy boys that you just have to cast one spell or two and tank some tower hits. That's all. He gets a kill right there.
They know they just needed a little bit of a helping hand to that Ember Spirit, then he'll be able to get his level 6. And not only did he walk away from that engagement, he picked up a regen rune, so he's now gonna have both his ultimate and full health, full mana. Now PYW cutting across Ori, showing up in this bottom lane to help get the kill onto Ramses, 3-2.
And they give it to Ori as well. And that's so good for him because he's only level 4. Now you got to kill on a level 6 Doom. Yeah, you share the experience 3 ways, but still, it's an amazing kill. However, Naga will port back bottom and they are not allowing Ori to have his game. I think most likely he's the one that suffers from these changes the most because as an Arc Warden, you want to get that level 6 as soon as possible. Not only does it allow you to get higher kill potential, but you farm faster.
Right.
Also, that level 10 is really important for Arc Warden because of the cooldowns.
Oh, trying to get the Doom out. Oh, jumps away and actually managed to finish off Fly. Now, DY was locked in by the Cold Feet. Didn't get far enough away, so they will trade out supports here.
So far, in the games that we have watched from EG, Ramses, the CIS boy, he has been that stable rock that if you give him the good laning stage, he will just provide you with so much utility in the mid game. I think it's really important for EG to give him a good game, and so far he's been doing great. Second on network charts.
Yeah, we certainly saw that from his Timbersaw in the series yesterday, and hopefully he will be able to do the same on his Doom. But it's Eurus who's topped the net worth board, and he's ready to move. Ready to shake things up. If they actually get this Invis rune, it would be a nice start, but Crit actually spots it, trying to get out the cogs to push these heroes away, and the Invis is picked up by PYW. Now he's going to be able to toss him back into the Ember Spirit, who already has the Frost Shield on top of him as well. No chance of an imprisonment. EG Gaming have too many heroes here for our tour.
What did I tell you about PYW? Always in the right position at the right time.
He certainly does seem to have a strong knack for it. It seems like one advantage Vici Gaming have here is something that links back to what the panel was a little bit puzzled about. They weren't sure about that Ancient Apparition, and right now, with all this lane movement, the two supports on the side of Vici Gaming, they can be active, they can help get kills, but an Ancient Apparition, especially pre-level 6, he doesn't really lead a whole lot.
Both of these position 5s are suffering if the lanes are moving a bit too much. Lich wants to be casting Frost Blast all the time in the lane, so he doesn't like moving way too much. And Fly, it's not about the harass, it's about levels. You want to get that level 6 on your Ancient Apparition as soon as possible.
And he was quite sacrificial at the very start. He actually didn't get in that experience range. You gave it all the crit just to get those early levels. So he's going to have to find a way to recover, perhaps with the Tome, if Crit can actually just get level 6 on his own.
Top, but bottom lane, I think, where's the action? Ori should be fine right now, but Ramses, he is rotating around.
Yeah, and they...
Okay, that spark rate, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
But the illusion, man.
The illusion breaks that spark wraith, allowing Ramsey to get a little bit closer, but the Tempest double coming out, reading that movement from EG, prevents EG from being able to commit to that tower dive.
Now, once that Arc Warden pops his replicate, you can't go in. You just can't go on the clone as well, because they will have so many spark rates around that tower, and even if you get on top of the Arc Warden, they will strike back. You have an Ember with an amazing counter-attack potential.
Well, he gets the battery rune, but he won't be able to get the outpost, at least not initially. He still has the battery assault, which will push them back. As it fades, though, who's going to be able to make that play? EG want to be able to grab both of them as they manage to nab that bottom lane first.
Crit actually already has his level 6 on the top lane. He's been given a lot. And because of that, maybe the Ancient Apparition will be given the Tome. If that's the case, they can do so much in the next couple of minutes together.
Yeah, they've got some decent setups for it. They've got Ensnare, Hookshot into Cogs, as well as the Imprisonment, all to be able to lead into an Ice Blast. EG holding a slight lead in net worth, but it's never been more than 1K. And they do have a Doom, after all, who's getting just that extra bit of efficiency, so it's not surprising.
It's mostly that. As you can see on the net worth, he's just below the OD. He has spent quite a lot of time just rotating between mid and the bottom lane, trying to create some plays. And I think it's necessary for him. I don't know if it's the greatest plan for EG and the way they played before, but it's necessary for him to be doing that, as OD isn't truly ready yet.
Smoke up into the top lane, Vici Gaming. Look to be able to either find a pick off here and then turn it into a tower, or just a full tower assault, and EG are already on the other side of the map, so both teams will just have to commit here.
They just scouted them, they know where they are exactly. So on the bottom lane, they will take this tower without worrying. Same will happen on top. But now, I'm fairly certain EG knows that they're coming mid, because they saw them put that sentry. They had the ward, and they were smoked as well, so they saw the sentry, they know exactly where Vici Gaming is.
There is the advantage that Vici Gaming has in Abaddon, a hero that allows you to be able to push towers a bit faster than the enemy, so EG have to be aware of that, have to kind of read those movements. And that's why they have already kind of rotated some heroes mid.
At the moment, they're very similar, Ramses and Yang, in what they do. You have these drums, you have some passive, you have some push and some utility for your team. And they're literally the frontliners. They're completely mirroring each other's movements, and I think it's understandable because you have very similar drafts.
Yeah.
You have Naga and Dark Warden, very similar. OD and Ember. In what these heroes are supposed to be doing, the strategies collide.
You could see both the Arc Warden and Naga Siren have done similar things in being able to push out a lane, but not have any risk associated. They just have the illusion in the dangerous lane where the enemy is trying to gank Vici Gaming. Kind of got stymied there by Naga Siren Illusion. They're going to try and rotate around that mid area, EG not approaching.
There's a first smoke coming from EG. They still understand that that Vici Gaming are in their own woods, and Crit is leading the charge.
It looks like they're going to try and flush him out here. Crit, his smoke is going to break, goes for the hook shot, actually lands on an Invis. Ember doesn't realize it, Sentry's going to be dropped. Eurus is able to get away, the toss up in the air by PYW. They're going to try and close that distance, will manage to grab this Tiny, but a Chain Frost going out may turn things around. It's Ramsey's already dropping dangerously low, is going to fall. They do manage to get the kill on PYW, but Crit now being slowed down by the Flux. The Spark Wraith in his way is going to be latched onto him, as well as the fall. Looks like he's going to be falling here. The Imprisonment over to mid. Crit. That last Spark Wraith is going to slow him down a little bit. If they hit him one more time, that doesn't land. Another Spark Wraith is up, but he jukes downwards. Can he somehow get out of this with a TP up? Vici not going to be able to spot him in time. Crit, smooth moves. Barely managed to get away.
Great play by Crit. On the mid lane, you weren't watching, but Abaddon was trying to go with the Ember on the OD. However, Arteezy manages to survive too. Good plays. Very unfortunate for EG and very fortunate for Vici Gaming the way they positioned the Ember. He broke the smoke and he broke the hookshot. So I think all things considered, both of these teams should be satisfied with the way that engagement went.
Yeah. What a world of difference it would have been if they'd gotten that engagement on the high ground. The fact they chased PYW down allowed Ori to be able to get a little bit closer, and it was a pretty easy Doom kill for them. PYW is closing in on that Blink Dagger as well. So that'll be another initiating tool for Vici Gaming.
On the side of EG as well, you have to be thinking about gap closing. You have to be thinking about these kind of items. You already have Clock, who's really good at doing that.
Right.
And perhaps you don't have to necessarily itemize on every single hero in that way. Maybe you don't even need a blink on that Doom right away, because you have the song, so you have the setup. Top lane.
Crit is going to be caught here. Another rotation from Vici Gaming with Smoke as the 15-minute bounty runes are spawning. Figure it's a good opportunity to invade that jungle once again.
All of these skills are really good for them, but the most important thing, what they're doing, is they're invading the dire jungle, which literally gives you more space to farm. Arc Warden, he wants to be farming in the safest possible positions. That's why he's in that triangle and only a little bit around mid lane. But Naga, you need some space for her on the side of EG as well, and that's why they're doing literally the same. They're pushing with Doom and the Arc Warden in the Radiant jungle.
Arteezy's going to get away from that mid lane. Vici Gaming with this Siege Wagon push. I wonder if they're just going to go for it. And how does EG respond here? Doesn't seem like they're really ready to take a team fight, but at the same time, giving up your mid tower.
I'm not sure they will give it this up. The clone has already been used. Once it disappears, you could perhaps make an action here.
Sabaton. That Curse of Avernus does so much with the Siege Wagon and with some teammates too. So that tower, Evil Geniuses, they don't want to give it up, but they felt like they just couldn't find an opening into a team fight.
I have a feeling they gave it up way too early.
Yeah.
You had the clock there, but Crit, sadly for them, did die on that top lane, and he wasn't really in position just yet for the right angle of that hookshot. And obviously Maelstrom was completed on Ori. A lot of damage was dished out by the Arc Warden too.
Yeah, there is a big difference between our two illusion-based carries and the Arc Warden and the Naga Siren. Naga Siren a lot slower than this Arc Warden, especially with the builds that we've been seeing from these Arc Wardens involving the Wraith Bands into early Mjolnir and Treads.
Yeah, we saw different players do different builds on Arc Warden. We've seen even 4 Wraith Bands. Ori decided to go for only 1 plus the Maelstrom. I think when it comes to neutral items, Abed did get the better end because he does have that Vambrace plus 1 Wraith Band. I think this Naga will come online very soon. After that Manta is completed, he could start fighting already.
What about this OD? Looks like Hurricane Pike is going to be the build for Arteezy. He needs to find a way to get away from this abandoned Ember Spirit. They're going to be chasing him down.
That's very, very peculiar. We don't see the usual Aghanim's build. I wonder what the Arteezy's reasoning behind this is. As you just said, there is definitely gap close on the side of Vici Gaming as well. But when you get that Aghanims, you have multiple saves too, so it has its upsides and downsides.
Eurus. The only way they can really kill him here, so they can imprisonment into an instant stun from the cogs, but then you don't really have any follow-up after that.
It was such a difficult kill. They had to make everything pitch perfect.
I mean, even still, that would have been like, at most, 2.5 seconds of stun.
Maybe hookshot into the cogs, moving you away into the AA blast.
Yeah, I guess with maybe the OD mana burn as well, that could be something.
As his shield is expiring, maybe, but very difficult.
Just felt like such a long shot from EG. And perhaps they're getting a little bit desperate to try
They're getting really good items. Now Grove Bow is also picked up on the Tiny, already given to Ori on his Arc Warden, obviously.
So good.
Yeah. He's getting really good items, and I don't know if this spike is going to be super useful for Arteezy, because you are playing versus an Arc Warden. He will be constantly using that magnetic field in the fights.
Right. You're going to have a hard time landing those orbs. That being said, you know, Vici Gaming, it definitely feels like they're stronger than EG right now. Their cores peak out around this mid-game timing very nicely. They've got a really good offlaner to be able to lead the charge in towers, but Vici Gaming still don't have that big of a net worth lead. EG is still finding ways to add efficiency.
It's the Doom effect, and also you're playing versus Naga, so it's understandable that they aren't really too much ahead. But I love what you just said. They have this Yang playing one of his signature heroes for this tournament. He's always on these saving Abaddons, Omni Knights, tanky beasts that also bring a lot of utility. And he's one of the reasons why they're control.
Spotted him, gets off the Ice Blast, whatever damage he can. Actually, with that clumsy net, make the Cold Feet land. That's a nice item for
Rocket him. Nah, he's fine. There's no way.
He's good.
He'll be
It does
fine.
serve as an early warning system for Arteezy to get out of there. In the end, tanking the smoke gank. Notice that these teams at the top, man, they've gotten really good at their supports, just always positioning to tank smoke ganks.
It also gives a lot of info to Vici Gaming about the decision-making and the strategy idea for this game of EG, because they want to invade that Radiant jungle and make it safe for the Naga. But with that one, that's actually really significant. You did kill an AA, it's not big, but you stopped them from invading and getting vision.
Jeez, look at this damage coming out.
That's the bow. That's the bow with Maelstrom. You can't mess with that. He does have a BKB now, however.
We saw this earlier, a Doom trying to build a BKB into an Arc Ward and just kind of run at him. That game did not turn out so well for the Doom, but maybe it'll be better for EG here.
I think he needs the BKB as well right now, as Arc Warden has that Grove Bow. And because of that, you're just much less resistance to magic. Those Spark Rays, the Flux is going to hurt you. It will kill you off if you don't have...
Oh. They're all smoked up around here, but Eurus, I'm sure he saw that Devour from Ramses. He ate the siege creep, and so...
And they send Yang instantly on top.
Yeah.
He's the one that cannot die, literally, at the moment. He has a pipe-completed Essence Ring and Vlad's. He's the one defending their towers, and the main reason why they only lost one single tier 1.
See, the mobile hero problem, the panel brought it up. As long as you get through that laning phase, which was a little awkward for Vici Gaming, as soon as you hit that mid-game window,
here we go.
Genius is nice, toss back. PYW into the tier 1 tower. DY's gonna be there. There's gonna be a hook shot coming out, as well as an Ice Blast. Gets off the Chain Frost, they doom up Ori, and instantly take him out. They drop double ultimates because they see this as a huge window to be able to take some map control back. They're gonna bring down that tier 1 mid tower.
Ramses picked up that BKB and he literally said, "Come at me." He just stood there and he baited.
And PYW, well, he did just that. He blinked in, got Ramses in close range. They are going to be able to bounce back, and it looks like pick off Fly here as he's left behind. But still, the tower gone, and in the end, you still lost Ori.
You lost 2 heroes. Also, remember when they showed up on the top lane? They were pretending that they will push that tier 1. It's so strategic. You make the Abaddon TP top, and then you make a move on mid. Instantly, there's no rescue, there's no aphotic shield, and you know that you will be able to get those kills. Really good play. At the same time, why did Ori go so deep? Why did he approach them? He's an Arc Warden, he needs to keep distance. He got doomed.
Seems like he just did not expect that big of a blitz by EG. BKB for Arteezy as well. Still will not solve that magnetic field problem, but it will help significantly in its survivability in team fights. It's just a lot of magic damage, so as they get these BKBs, EG, I think they may actually have the team fight edge.
Really good by Crit. He scouts the Rosh instantly, he uses his rocket.
But doesn't matter. With no Sanity's Eclipse, no Doom.
They have Song, so there's always a possibility of even just snatching the Rosh if they're not careful. Also, Naga is ready. Vambrace, Mantha, and Diffusal. He can join these fights super easily.
Abed might just be able to chase him out of the pit if he throws illusions at them, right? A little bit of mana burn goes a long way in how confident you feel for a team fight. Arteezy's a little bit too far out there, though. And no imprisonment either to be able to buy himself time here. He's just going to be caught and brought down.
He was so far out. He knew that they were doing Rosh, or trying at least. And if they go out of that pit, of course they will go for you.
They had plenty of vision. They have illusions to throw into the pit. They have the Clockwork Rocket Flare. If you want to farm anywhere, you know, farm a little safer in the neutrals, farm your triangle.
I don't know what he was doing there. That wasn't a great play.
Yeah.
He has a Pikes. He definitely does have some mobility, but the Tiny has a Blink Dagger completed, and Ember Spirit is just Ember Spirit. You won't get away from him. Crit, look at this. Ori.
This is a big one. They do have the Ice Blast coming in. Lock him down underneath the cogs. Can Crit do enough damage with the Rocket Flare and a little bit of extra? No, they're actually going to be able to stop that. The Aphotic Shield, and Ori will survive, turning, killing Crit. He's just got too many stats at this point in the game.
Damn, that was a good attempt. I can't blame him for that. It was really nice. They tried to go on him. Arc Warden is very squishy this early on, but not squishy enough when you have Abaddon on your team too. So they instantly respond and they save him. EG making a couple of mistakes here and there, not really stellar performance after a pretty good, solid laning stage.
Well, at least it forced a lot of Vici Gaming heroes back, and Naga Siren immediately taking advantage of that, pushing out the bottom lane, taking over that Radiant jungle. They still have to be worried, though, about Roche 10 taking, and...
You talked recently about Abed and how he's usually the flashy playmaker. In the last couple of series, though, that hasn't been the case. He has been going for these Nagas, TAs even, but he usually gets a lot of space while Arteezy is the sacrificial lamb. He's the one that doesn't farm as much as he usually do, and he's the one that gets carried in the end.
Nice instant BKB there from Ramses, preventing the toss.
Top lane, fly. That's just an easy pick-off.
Small little kill. Is it enough for Vici Gaming to feel confident about taking Roche again?
He's dead for 20 more seconds. It's difficult to decide to go into the pit instantly.
Repair kit. That kind of fits into EG's idea of this game, right? They just want to be able to draw it out until this Naga Siren gets the full 6 slot.
And the Naga Siren is getting there. I honestly believe he could have fought already, but he has the Manta Diffusal moving towards that Butterfly, which will come in handy. The problem is you're playing versus Ember, who has Maelstrom. So
jumping onto RTZ, the Avalanche also hitting Ramses, preventing him from getting off a Doom. He is going to try and just charge forward on the Ember Spirit. Managed to get off there. The Imprisonment buying RTZ a little bit of time. They're actually going to be able to get away from this one. The Ice Blast closing in. It's going to be a land on the Ember Spirit. The Sandy's good thing. Drop finish on PYW and gets the kill onto Eurus. 3 dead on the side of Vici Gaming. And now it's EG who hold an advantage around that Roche shot.
What a great fight for them. And you could see what I was talking about. Arteezy was the bait. They went on him, they failed to kill him, failed to shut him off, and then also Abed, he joins because he's completely able to fight right now. Look at him, he has 2k HP, a lot of armor, diffusal, and they go straight for the pit.
They even had their song if they needed to use it at some point to save Arteezy or catch some additional heroes, but it wasn't required.
Also, PYW just moved into OD's ultimate. The hammer just clipped on him as well. He was fine there, but
now,
unfortunate.
And Aegis into an instant smoke up. They're gonna run a Vici Gaming. They can smell the blood in the water.
I like this. I like this aggressive movement from them. You can play around the Naga, you can invade the jungle. You know that you have Crit always in the right position to catch Ori out.
Oh, and he's gonna find him here. The smoke's gonna break. Trying to run him down. Hookshot leading off is gonna be able to cox him backwards towards his team. He's gonna try and run away to keep himself alive. Ori does have the BKB, is gonna have to turn and fight. Seeing him be killed, maybe Fly, getting away. Yang is gonna try and help him out. Body shield, Mistcoil's not gonna be good enough. EG find another big kill on Ori. Can they do a little bit more? No, they're actually gonna TP away, feeling like this is not the fight any longer. Eurus, his BKB cannot stop Abed from being able to TP out. A really clean disengage from EG.
Perfect playstyle by EG. The way they position Naga on mid lane to make VG think they're smoking behind her. Instead, they go and fight the Arc Warden. They force him to use that BKB. Because of that, Yang can't really be useful. He can't shield him, can't heal him. They pick off the Arc Warden and then disengage, losing only Crit. So far, EG have been on point after that mid-game engagement. They were struggling a little bit here and there, but the strategy is coming together.
Yeah, certainly. Vici Gaming, they may have gotten an early lead on towers and stuff, but they didn't get the strong advantage of winning team fights against EG because EG was mostly playing a little bit of cat and mouse. They were shying away from Vici Gaming until this point where they had their double BKBs.
The biggest difference that I see right now is the difference between Arteezy and Eurus. I think Arteezy is doing way more with the items that he's got. Mid lane.
Toss backwards onto Ramses. Good setup. He does have his BKB. He's going to turn around, doom up the Ember Spirit, trying to get the hook shot in. And poor Staff is going to be able to save yours for a little bit longer, but Ramses is going to stick on top of him, trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, Arteezy laying into DY, builds up a lot of charges. Ramses still going for it. There's a Shrine active as well. So Ramses is going to back away from that high ground. It's a good idea, too, because that would have been a great place for Vici Gaming to turn that fight around.
How many teams are going to fall for the same thing over and over again? You can't go on Ramses. You will not kill that beast. Every single time you see, even in the same spot, Ramses is just chilling. He has his BKB off cooldown in a second or two. He knows he cannot die, and then they turn. Vici Gaming should be really happy that they didn't lose more than only the Lich. The Doomed Ember, with the Glimmer Cape, did manage to get to the Shrine. And meanwhile, all things said, there is an Arc Warden farming for them, so it's fine.
13-11. Evil Geniuses holding that 3K gold lead. And it might mean more, at least my look at this game anyways, that EG has a bit better late game, but you never know with the Arc Warden what he's able to accomplish.
I think it's about the next power spike. For Naga Siren, for Abed, it's going to be the Talisman of Evasion, which will have his butterfly completed. I think you have to fight before that or somehow
Abed in position here. He does have the Aegis as well as the Song of Siren. They're going to hookshot a little bit lower. They actually managed to get into the back line, but PYW is being destroyed right now by Arteezy. Ori does manage to bring down this Clockwork, but he's already had to pop his BKB, meaning he's susceptible to Abed here. He's going to be ensnared up as the illusions get on top of him. That magnet field is out. Yang, he pops his ultimate here as Arteezy trapped by the chains. Vici Game is just trying to get out at this point, but they're locked in. The standing flips gets dropped. Ori dropping lower and lower, and it looks like Yang is unable to save his carry once again. Eurus does what he can with his BKB, but all he really can do is successfully retreat. They brought down the Aegis of Abed, sure, but now Yang, with no ultimate in sight, may get caught by Arteezy. Slowed down, orb after orb, building up.
Eurus in the back.
Coming into the back line, PYW with his buyback and trying to get the kill on the fly of all heroes, but a buy position is going to make a damn bit of difference. Look at Arteezy's hitting like a truck right now onto Eurus. Saves himself with the imprisonment, but EG, they start backing away with a buyback coming out from Ori. They're not going to be able to save Arteezy. They just need to get out. Abed, retreating, still has the Song of Siren if needed. But are they going to go back in? They are. A buyback from Yang. EG, are you going to commit here? You're going to really try this against an event. They're going to get off the Doom, but instantly there is that event. Unfortunately, the Ensnare onto yours. They get the kill on the Ember Spirit instead.
Doom the Arc Warden, so there's no magnetic field or help from him, and go on the Eurus. Yeah, if you killed Arc Warden, he wouldn't have a buyback, but that's a really solid kill overall by them in the end anyways. But the way Crit and PYW are matching up in these fights is really crazy, because I feel Crit is doing way much more. Even though he died and he didn't really come back into the fight, he still did a lot more because he forced the BKB from Arc Warden. He separated the fight in two. PYW just died instantly, then he bought back. He rejoined the fight, but by the time he reached Naga and OD, actually OD and Doom, they just BKB'd. And Tiny was just standing by, he couldn't do anything. His spells made no difference in the team fight. I think though, Abed, maybe if he used the Siren, if the song was used a little bit earlier, the BKB was used only on the clone, not on the main. Maybe OD would be able, but very unlikely.
See the start of this fight again, how they tried to jump in Crit, as you said, isolating Ori, forcing him to use his BKB, which then allows Abed to be able to chase him down quite nicely. And Arteezy just had totally free space for almost the entire team fight.
Uses Avalanche toss, but there's nothing to use it on.
Yeah, at some point in time, once those BKBs go down, Vici Gaming just have to kite EG as best they can, but it's so hard against some of these heroes.
So if you're Vici Gaming, you need to find a different way to deal with Crit. You can't pop your BKBs on that hookshot. If you do, after your BKBs are out, it's free game for EG. There's a Hex almost queued up by the OD. Here as well in this fight, Ori, you see the BKB is used on the clone, but not on the main one. But it was a lot of damage.
Just turn around the Sleight of Fist. Looks like he just wasn't able to get any more remnants out.
Got the main, yep.
Of course, he used, there's the hook shot. The BKB, it's about to wear thin. He doesn't have any remnants left. Yours is just dead, burned out of mana. Tell me someone saw that. Crit picking up the big kill on him.
Skills on cooldown indeed, man. Crit puts you all on cooldown for 70 more seconds with that hookshot. Yeah, Crit is just having a blast. Such a great game by him. I'm enjoying this Pog position 4. The way he started, though, it looked like an offlane Pog.
Yeah, more and more power spikes coming in. They now have the level 20 on the Naga Siren as well as the OD. And then on top of that, Vici Gaming, with their buybacks, their items have been delayed significantly. No Heaven's Halberd for the Abaddon, no MKB.
Shiva's on Ramses, Hex about to be completed very soon on the OD too. Shiva's on Ramses is really good here versus all the damage from the Arc Warden, but most importantly, slowing him down once you get on top of him and those BKBs are gone. You can just run this Arc Warden down, even with the Doom.
Yeah, and did manage to pick up his Heaven's Halberd, so at least they have a smaller answer to the OD and slowing down those orbs, but what they really need to do is find a way to threaten Arteezy and not just let him play that back line and build up those orb stacks for a big Sandy's Eclipse.
Their high ground defense is still really strong.
Yeah.
You are playing with an Arc Warden, so it won't be very easy for EG to breach their high ground. They could play around their illusions of Naga once the heart is completed, but right now they can't really threaten big objectives without killing Arc Warden first. One good thing, however, is the fact that Ori, one good thing for EG that is the fact that Ori doesn't have travels. And because of that, VG will struggle at split pushing. They have to make moves, so they smoke up.
A full 5-man smoke.
Where
are they going to be headed to here? Looks like up north.
They really want to take this area around Rosh. They have to ward it up and prevent EG from having a free cheese and Aegis.
Ooh, big scythe for the OT, and that's something many of these heroes just will not have an answer to. They can build up as much mana as this OD can.
They should have a no smokes, but with that sight, this is a huge power spike for Arteezy. He will be able to pick off almost any single hero on the side of Vici Gaming if they're not careful enough.
Makes it even harder for the Ember Spirit to split push as well.
I love the playstyle from EG though, always putting this Doom up front and just circling around him. Meanwhile, Vici Gaming, they are finding space. They are finding some farm. They also took the top outpost.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's
Arc Warden going, remember when we talked about crit and we said that they need to find different ways of dealing with him?
Right.
Arc Warden is going for that pike. It is a decent item on Arc Warden. Well, it doesn't give you a lot of damage later on versus Naga. That's definitely an issue, but you need some ability.
It's funny how he's going back for that. It could have been an item that helped him out much earlier in the game. PYW going to be spotted by the illusions here. Blinks backward before he could be touched.
They have a gem on Ramses, so they're just utilizing that really well, deboarding the area that Vici Gaming just went in. You can see that they're dominating the game at the moment completely.
Gonna try and approach this, they need to get the Hex online, and PYW gonna be saved by the Aphonic Shield. He backs up the Magnetic Field, also helping him. Ramsey's just gonna march forward, seeing if he finds somewhere that real Arc Warden, but he takes a lot of physical damage. He has to actually saved by the imprisonment before he blinks himself away. That Tempest double doing a lot to keep EG back. They do manage to force a buyback out of DY and Ember. Once to be able to find somebody here, it's gonna be Ramsey's caught by the chains, but...
Oh, they find region for him.
Oh, that's gonna help quite a bit.
EG Gaming has to be super careful now. They don't know about this. They don't understand that EG is able to go back in.
And that's the real Ori. They're gonna be able to lock it down. Great hook shot. And the Cox is out as well. He got off the BKB, but they're just gonna stay on top of this Arc Warden. And Yang gonna be in prison, so he can't even give any heals over to Ori, or he's just gonna be surrounded by so many. He's gonna try and turn and kill Crit before he goes down, but he's dead. No buyback. Yours is gone as well. Yang's gonna be caught potentially. Noxstar looks to be able to chase him away. DY gets back to the high ground, but with the 2 carries dead, it's looking real grim for Vici Gaming.
This is high ground push. Now, Ori, he does have enough gold for buyback, and the buyback will be there in 40 seconds.
Okay.
EG is definitely aware of this, so they will continue pushing for at least an extra 40 seconds. However, Ember Spirit, he has no gold. He bought out. He went for the Lincolns, which sadly for him, he didn't put in the inventory.
Kill any more heroes, they might just be able to end it through the throne. They're gonna be able to take out Yang. Looks like PYW forced away as well, shackled up. Arteezy, 25 stacks for the Sandy's Eclipse right now, which he still has in the bank. One lane of barracks.
10 more seconds. I think this is one lane, perhaps bottom as well. If Arc Warden dies again, if he buybacks now and dies twice, the game is over though.
They might just have to accept 2 lanes going down. BYW into the shrine. No, barely heals up just in time. It's 2 lanes of barracks for EG. They won't be able to get megas because the tier 2 at top.
Okay, so for Vici Gaming, this is the trade-off. You just had a really bad team fight, but you didn't buy back on the Arc Warden at least. So you're hoping for that late game scenario. You're still hoping for Arc Warden to reach that God mode, but at this stage of the game, I don't see that happening.
Still a problem is with Yang dying, they don't have their 5-man squad up to be able to defend Roshan.
And he's the most important one.
Yeah.
If he's not up front, no one can engage, no one can go in. They take down this Roshan without contest. It's not too difficult for them.
They can get their next round of items coming in as well, like that Aghanim Scepter for the Doom.
Really, really good regeneration rune, though. That would not be possible without the proper rune at the proper time. Naga is so tanky, right? He's so fat. He has Butterfly and the Orb of Destruction that allowed him to take down those two sides much, much easier. Aghanim's picked up by Doom, so you have break now on Abaddon. You can't take him down even without him popping that ultimate. You have to be careful if you're Yang.
Do they have a Mindbreaker on the side of EG? I've lost track of the
Vici Gaming has it. Mindbreaker is on Ember Spirit.
Oh, okay.
But it's in the backpack. He isn't using it any longer.
So at least there isn't any silences to combo up with that break to just instantly kill Yang.
Yeah, they don't truly have silences, I guess. Doom is there, but...
Tempest double. Thanks to the Mjolnir active, will clear out most of those creeps.
Vici Gaming, they're in a rough position. Arc Warden also switched up from going for that hike. He's moving towards the Butterfly instead. They desperately need damage. Ember Spirit, this hero just didn't work out for them so far.
No, it certainly didn't, and it's looking like it may never do that, as he's trying to go back for Radiance, but if you look at Abed, he doesn't care about that damage over time. He's got Heart, Butterfly,
he had
almost 4,000 HP.
He had it queued up as the first item instead of Maelstrom. He was thinking about going that Radiance 10 minutes into the game and decided not to. I think now it's a little bit too late.
The assault begins on the Tier 3 tower. Vici Gaming, they need some sort of miracle here if they want to be able to hold against EG. An EG that has stomped them in the last 3 fights and is even stronger now, thanks to some item upgrades. They've got the Aegis and Cheese as well.
They just take down this clone. Ori, he has to be careful when he feeds that clone, as instantly EG can go in and hit the tower a little bit. There's no magnetic field.
Ice Blast coming in as Ramses makes the initiation. Do manage to get off the BKB onto the Arc Ward. At the same time, the hookshot catches DY Yang. He's going to be kind of caught here. Cogs backwards in the borrowed time as well as the imprisonment. So he's going to be stuck outside of his fountain as he's brought back to life. He's quickly going to be killed. PYW calls it here.
That's it. Game over.
Vici Gaming had no chance in that final push from EG.
After getting that one pick off on the Arc Ward and after that perfect regeneration rune, they engage. I don't think rune was the most important aspect. They played the game really, really cleanly from the get-go. After making a couple of baits on RTZ, on Ramses, this Naga had enough farm. He had the time to reach that farm because of Crit and his movements across the map. I think Crit is probably the centerpiece of this draft. Without the cop that was always able to cut in the backlines, to make them use those BKBs, they wouldn't have the damage necessary to deal with the Arc Ward.
Certainly proved to be an effective last pick by EG. EG are now up 1-0 in this series, but Vici Gaming have taken them down in the upper bracket, as well as most recently the One Esports final 3-0. Surely Vici Gaming, they're a strong enough team to be able to come back from this. We'll see them do that after this break.